And welcome back. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Keith, Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, normal Keith. It's just Keith. Good to see everybody. Welcome back to the lab here. It's not really a lab, it's just an office. Nonetheless, good to see everybody. Been a tumultuous week, hasn't it? Man, got a lot of stuff to talk about. We could just talk about charts. That's cool with me too. But hey, we're here. No whining, no crying. Things could be so much different than they are. Let's get into it. If you have not done so, please go hit like. It's free here. It costs nothing to hit the like button. While you're there, hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. You'll be subscribed to see everything that we do. Again, likes are free here. They cost nothing. All right. The more people who like it, the more YouTube kind of shares it around for us automatically. We don't have to do anything. YouTube just kind of pushes us through what they call the algorithm, and more people will get the message of what we're trying to push forward for everybody, what we're trying to get everyone to learn, what we're trying to get everyone to see, which is the beautiful thing called technical analysis. So, first and foremost, we are fine here. Okay, clearly I'm back on the YouTube. I took about a week off because it took a while to get electricity, cell phone service, internet service, etc., etc. All right, we had a lot of people over at the house. We had things to go do. We had people to go talk to, etc., etc. It's been crazy here, as you might imagine. So hurrying up and getting online to talk about all this stuff really wasn't the most important thing to me. Nonetheless, we're here now. So first and foremost, let's talk crypto. All right. All the other stuff is secondary and less important, I think. So, talking about crypto kind of all puts us all in the same spot. All right. Lets us all kind of get some stuff off our chest, feel things out a little bit, and kind of talk all together and look together. Right. Right. So I got Bitcoin pulled up here first. Since the last live stream, man, things got wild. What's crazy is once the hurricane hit Thursday night after the live stream, right? I kind of told you during the live stream, I was like, all right, look, if my power goes out, sorry. Well, it happened later that night. Later that night, we lost electricity. Thursday was when things were at their peak, right? So my plan was, like, I didn't tell this everyone publicly. After the stream, got on Zoom, started talking, and I said, all right, so my plan is I'm going to get up in the morning, and if things haven't changed much chart-wise, I'm probably going to take some profits here, right? I'm probably going to get some stuff. The market was flying. I'm probably going to get some profits. Probably going to sell a little bit of this, maybe 10% of this, maybe 5% of this, maybe 10% of that, whatever, right? So, woke up, no internet service, no cell service, power flickering on and off. Very, very loud winds, incredibly heavy rains, flood level rain, right? I'm not in a floodplain, right? We're probably 800 feet above sea level here. We're very high, but it doesn't matter. What happened essentially is all the water from the upper levels just kind of ran down the mountains. And as you know, folks, I'm at the foothill of the mountains out here in South Carolina. I'm in upstate South Carolina. We're right next to the Blue Ridge Mountains, right? So all the water from there comes down here eventually. Nonetheless, there's nothing I could do. We were stuck. Now we did get power back faster than other people. Talked to multiple people today who still don't have electricity in our area, right? I can't fully describe to you the craziness that's going on all through the area within just a 10-mile range of me. And if we step it up past that and say 50-mile range, it's gotten really crazy within a 50-mile range. I'm sure you've seen all the reports on TV. It's way worse than whatever you think you saw. It's way worse than whatever you think you saw. All right. But Friday was my take profit day. I didn't get to take profits. So I got stuck waiting. And in fact, I didn't really get internet service or cell service till like late Sunday night. Going into Monday, my internet started flickering. Cell service was in and out, and I would get random moments. I would get 5G, but I'd get like 1 bar and it would drop off. The other crazy thing that happened was there was no 911. it went away. And for you guys who aren't in the U.S., don't know what 911 is, that's our emergency service. They sent out a mass text to everyone, an emergency alert, and it said, sorry, no 911. You're on your own. So we're like, okay, that's a little ominous. So when that happened, listen, folks, I do this every day, right? I look at charts all day long, every single day. The charts went away for a while. There's nothing I could do, okay? I kind of tried to get on Discord and say, hey, look, man, I don't know if I'm going to have service. I'm doing my best here. Bear with me. We were never in any imminent death, danger, or anything like that. The worst we had to deal with was the inconveniences of living in the Stone Age. I could deal with it. It wasn't the most fun, but I could deal with it. Kids hated it. Wife was tired of it. So luckily that part's gone. Here we are many days later, and we're back to a familiar spot above the 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is the yellow line that you see right here. I've spoken about this a lot before. I've talked about how I want to see it above the 50-day moving average, and as long as it's above the 50-day moving average, I'm kind of okay here. What I don't like is it went from way above the 200 and nosedived through all of these moving averages back to the 50-day moving average. I don't like that. That doesn't look particularly encouraging to me. Now, the good news and bad news behind this is it is sitting on the 50-day moving average. The bad news is it went back under all of these rolling support and resistance lines known as moving averages and exponential moving averages. I can't do anything about it. It's stuck under them now. Follow the cursor. You can see that this is the 200, the red line, right? The 50 moving average is down here, the yellow, and the 100 is the blue. And the green and purple are our exponential moving averages, our 21 EMA, which is purple, and our 8 EMA, which is green, right? We'd love to be above all these. We are not. We're above the 50 only, and we're kind of stuck in between the 50 and the 100. We'll see what Bitcoin's got for the next little bit here. This could be the bottom. This could just be the mid move that brings us down lower. I've got a support level marked out right here in red. I don't think this support level fails. Then again, I've thought that before and it's failed. So I'm just going to keep it straight with you and say that the market's still pretty wishy-washy going into what we're going into this October after a really good September led me to believe that we would have a better November and October, and then that may not necessarily happen. So I'm going to pull up the monthly chart here so you can see this. On a monthly look, we're still floating way above the 8 EMA here. This is fine. And after last month's big, powerful close that just happened, this is an extremely bullish chart. This should be an extremely bullish chart. Yet, here we are waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, right? This is why I'm hesitant to run away. This is just sitting on the exponential moving averages. It's just sitting over here on support, pretty as you please. Because of this, I can't go running away from the market and being intimidated and being scared. This looks more bullish than bearish, which tells me I should be more on risk than off risk. The only thing I've taken any profits on recently was SUI. I sold some SUI, swapped it to Bitcoin, left it sitting. I'm looking forward to buying back into that SUI position and selling that piece of Bitcoin that I bought and buying more SUI again, right? I have lofty goals for SUI moving forward. That's the only one that I took profits on, and I only just did that yesterday. All right, so been a while. It's been a while. By the way, let me pop the chat out here. I haven't put this up yet, but we will go through and read these here in a minute. All right. We'll read them here in a minute. Not yet. Looking at the weekly. Still not the end of the world here. I'm going to pull up the side-by-side here from what we have now, which is 2024 halving and fibs. Let me drop off the other stuff. I don't want to see that right now. And I'll pull up over here 2016, which is so far the closest example we have to what we have now. It's pretty much a hybrid of 2024, 2020, and 2016 all mixed together, what we're getting now. But it's still very, very similar. I've got these red boxes right here listed. as same time 8 years ago. And that's literally the same spot we are now. Right here's now, as you see, from having shortly after, consolidating to the right. It was right about this time and the next 3 weeks moving forward that Bitcoin really, really stretched its legs going forward. We haven't had this happen yet. Unfortunately, we're still waiting, still pending. Being stuck in this range like this has been very frustrating. But just like back then, we had some down mixed with the up. You can see right in here, we had some down throughout. It didn't only go up, didn't only shoot green candles. It did take a while to get going back in the day. And for that reason, looks like it may continue to take a while. It sucks. I wish it would go faster. Doesn't really matter what I want though. Little baby steps. We are making progress slowly but surely. I do think we break out of this range and head north. My targets remain the same. Nothing's changed as far as targets go. It's still going to be roughly 80 to 100K. Call it 85 to be generous. And we reassess from there. I'll just one weekly chart at a time here. We're playing with the 821 EMA right now on the weekly. I'd like it to stay above this by Sunday. I'd like to see it close above 61.5. Closing above 61.5 kind of solidifies that we stay above this and potentially break north of this range. It would mean we stayed above the midline of this channel that it's got. It's got a big downward channel right here. I think you can all kind of see the downward channel right here working its way out. And price for what it's worth is kind of maintaining the midline right there. Stay above the midline. I'll be good and happy. Time shall see. It's taking forever. I know. I hate it too. Let's read some messages right fast. What's up, Mago? Good to see you, bro. Squog. What's up, Squog? Good to see you. What's up, Cheese? Who's that? What's up, Crew Chief? Brad Williams. Thank you, brother. The Rob. What's up? Good to see you. Phonetic Duck. Crypto Profits. Good to see you. Frank Castillo. Sunny G says, can you look at Casper? We don't do chart requests so much anymore on here. Been around. You've been gone for a while. Show up more often, bro. Mark Estrada, what's up, my guy? I blame the weather devs, bro. We should ask the devs to fix something. Mark Estrada. Yeah, I'm fine, brother. It's not necessarily me that needs help. It's everyone else around me that needs help. Peter Navarro, what's up, brother? Good to see you. What's up, cousin Jeremy? People can buy XRP with their FEMA checks. Moon soon, bro. Quigs, that's pretty good, dude. Colo, how you doing, brother? Anything on Guardian Network? Nope, never heard of it. And if I have heard of it, I'm not sure. What do you see on the chart? You tell me, and we will compare and contrast. How about that? Galliani, M. Galliani says, good to hear you. Okay, yeah, brother, I'm fine. I could be way worse off. I'm doing pretty darn good over here. Not gonna lie. It could be so much worse. You know, if anything, what the last couple days have taught us is our preparedness is not on a high enough level. And what I mean is just our family readiness and preparedness for emergency situations isn't quite as good as we would like it to be. Better than most, but not as good as we would like it to be. We're fixing to step it up over here on my end. Worry you not. Here's Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is important because it shows us where the money is in crypto. Again, I will say Bitcoin dominance is important because it shows us where the money is in crypto. Is it in Bitcoin? Is it in Ethereum? Is it alt season? Is it altcoin season? No, it's not. It's still Bitcoin season. As you see by the chart that I'm showing you right now, this has more up and continues to go up. This 1.618 level up here is my target for this medium term move that it's doing right now. I know this chart's very busy, but bear with me. All right. Right here is our previous high. Down here is our previous low. These are fibs. And here's a trend line for those fibs in green. These Fibonacci retracement lines show us mathematical support and resistance and give us an idea of where price will start and stop. And as you see, it's respected these lines very, very well. Look at how many hits are on this 618 line on the weekly right here. Look at that. It's like perfect. Hitting that line, perfect. Furthermore, on a shorter note, you see that from this level to down where we were before, you're seeing we're kind of flirting around with these upper take profit level fibs at 1272, 1414, and 1618. We've hit these two so far. We have not hit the big 1618 up there. Of note, this level up here was hit in 2020, right in this space right through here. It makes sense for at least 60% to happen. Linear or log mode, doesn't matter. 60% is a 618 on linear, and same deal, 60% is the 68 fib here. No matter what, it's still stuck in the mud, as you see. Bitcoin's still the king, still kind of pushing everybody else around here. Until the money comes out of Bitcoin, meaning until you see this yellow trend line right here fail, which is the big overall uptrend. And still, until that fails, it's not alt season, folks. Alts will potentially follow Bitcoin's lead. But until this yellow trend line fails, it is not alt season. Does that mean that altcoins won't go up? No. Altcoins can still go up. It's just not alt season. Right? You're not going to get those big exponential moves until you see Bitcoin fail and that money trickle down from Bitcoin to Ethereum to altcoins. It is my belief, and a belief of mathematics, that trickle down economics is the only way it works. This is why you see politicians say we should build from the middle up or from the bottom up, yet they never actually execute with that because it's not real. Right? Tell me all of the poor people who run Fortune 500 companies. They don't exist. They don't exist. Poor people don't hire people. Wealthy people hire people. Right? That has to trickle down from the top down. It's the way the system works. It's the way the system will always work. And it's no different for Bitcoin. We have to have that money flow from Bitcoin to altcoins. But first, Bitcoin gets the money. We're still waiting on that. It's happening slowly in the background, little by little. It's going to continue to happen, in my opinion. Hope that made sense for everybody. That's my take on Bitcoin dominance. And for what it's worth, it's not just my opinion. It's pretty factual. Wish it wasn't. Is the way it is. No new messages in, so let's power on. Shall we? And we shall. Total market cap. So, went a little higher than I thought it would in the red here. I thought it would get hung up at this 786 fib right here. Yep. Got a little hung up there. Went a little farther down than I thought it would. I honestly expected it to hold up a little bit better. It didn't. What concerns me here is how it slipped under that 50 moving average right there. Do you see that? I'll zoom in so you can see it. I don't like how it's under that 50-day moving average. That needs to improve rather rapidly. I want it back over that 50 in a hurry, and I want it to try to attack back into this 100 moving average and this 200 moving average up here. Hasn't done it yet. I need it to. This leads me to Bitcoin CME. Why do we talk about the Bitcoin CME chart? Well, so far it's been pretty darn accurate. It's been pretty accurate to show us the more broad moves, not so much the short-term stuff, but the more broad stuff, which is what I think most of you care more about anyway. So it's important to note we're still above the 50-day moving average on the CME chart. We're still above the 200-day moving average on the CME chart, but we have fallen under the 100 and we are under the 821 EMA. What that tells me is we have some support, we have some resistance. Looks like more sideways.
Come on, man.
I know, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. If it was a magic button I could push and not make us have to say, bruh, then I would push it. But unfortunately, it doesn't exist. Worst case, Ontario, we fall under this 200 moving average. We fall under this 200 moving average. In my opinion, that's terrible. I don't think that happens. I think it's probably going to stay above it. And as long as it stays above it, we're fine. Right? Baby steps. Baby steps. I know it doesn't want to be that way. I know everyone wants this price to just jump up and run and go up and fly away. Not probably going to happen. All right? It's probably going to get stuck in the mud and take a hot, long minute to get where we want it to. Pause. No diddy. Total 2. Total 2 is kind of interesting because even after the recent down, she's sitting right on top of this big weekly 50 fib. And it hasn't failed it yet. I'm going to zoom way out so you can see. Right there you go. There's our weekly 50 fib. And where did I draw those from? From the high of the bull market to the low of the bear market. And I used my trend line right here to kind of lead us, show us where we're heading. And as you see right over here at the end of this, look at the date at the bottom. It says December 24th, 2025. So Christmas 2025 for total market cap 2, everything but Bitcoin, would likely be the peak area. All right. It still didn't fail that 50 fib. As long as it holds on to that 50 fib, I'm pretty confident that we're not doing too bad. Total 3, it's going to be a similar ball game here. As soon as it pulls up, doesn't want to pull up. Let's try that again. I'm not going to be able to do it, am I? Well, doesn't look as though total 3 cares to party. Well, that's fine. We'll go find something else to look at. No big deal. How about Ethereum? Oh, by the way, we'll do XRP here in a minute. I built a new video thing, but it didn't load. So I got to redo it. I built a new little video intro thing for every time I talk about XRP. It's kind of funny. I'll debut it next week. I think it's kind of stupid, but it made me laugh at the same time. So I think it may make you laugh as well. All right, so still fighting the big green trend line here on Ethereum, still bouncing off of it, holding on to it. This was very encouraging when it made this move up, and it's very discouraging that it made the move right back down. It broke every moving average as if they weren't there, and then went right back down through them again as if they weren't there. Usually, that's indicative of a higher time frame move. We go to the higher time frames, and what do we see? Didn't mean to draw that, but I can say that because the people who said that I had to drink when I said that no longer around. So we're above the weekly 200. We're above the weekly 100. We are under the weekly 50. This is better than worse. It looks like we've got fairly good support all through here. I think this should be the relative low for Ethereum, give or take a few percent. This seems to be a good spot for Bitcoin, for Ethereum to haul up here and not want to quit. Problem is, even if it breaks back to the northern side, at 2,800 to 3,000 is going to be a very stubborn level for this thing to break. It's not going to fall easy. It would be quite difficult. In fact, that same level is also where the Ichimoku cloud is. A lot of trash here for Ethereum. It can make it through, just doesn't look like it's going to make it there in a hurry. Sucks because I did stick a good bit of money in Ethereum. I'm stuck sitting here waiting on it now, right? That kind of sucks. It could have been worse. I could have had it in altcoins, and all that money in altcoins would have been lost. That didn't happen, luckily. I just took a little bit on it instead of a huge loss on it. I'd rather take a small loss than a big loss. I tell y'all that all the time, and it's very important to remember that. Let me have something to drink. We prefer to take small losses. Those small losses, you know, death by 1,000 cuts can be a thing, but I'd much rather be death by 1,000 cuts than someone just coming in and just icing you right off the bat and you have no chance. And I don't mean real world. I mean trade-wise, invest-wise. And another thing that someone told me today was, oh, Keith, I'm not a trader. I'm an investor. Folks, I got bad news for you. You're not an investor. You are a trader. You might not realize it, but you're trading. You're just not trading on a higher time frame than you think you are. Sorry, just the way it is. I want you to know that even though you think you're not a trader, you're trading. You're trading high time frames, and you're doing it the same way I am. You're just making an excuse to make it sound like it's not as bad as it is. There's nothing wrong with being a trader. You can do this once a month. You can do this once a week. You can do this once every 4 years. It's really up to you. I like to stick to the daily, and there's a reason we do that. Nonetheless, if you tell me you're an investor, not a trader, I'm going to tell you this.
Wrong.
Simple as that.
Come on, man.
I won't argue with you, but I will tell you you're wrong, and I'll give you objective evidence to back that up. All right? It will not be subjective. It will be objective, which is a big difference. All right? We can talk about subjective and objective differences in another time. But for now, I'll let y'all understand that I do think Ethereum's got good support here. It sucks. It's taking forever. I think we'll be singing a different tune in 2 weeks. All right? And we've reached that point in the stream where we do XRP. I felt like doing the Undertaker noise there for XRP. It's been bad for XRP. It's not the end of the world, but I tell you what they do need.
You gotta give him that hawk to and spit on that thing. You get me?
Maybe if somebody did that, XRP would do a little bit better. Unfortunately, she's stinking up the show. It did have a short-term breakout here. I was watching this very closely. It did have a short-term breakout and made me feel like, hey, looks like it's time to go here. Followed shortly the very next day. No confirmation of the breakout. It's just immediately pushed right back down, got back under the trend line. Note, this was also right about the time when I started losing electricity, losing internet, and losing cell service. Lost 911, the whole nine, dude. It appears to be a hardcore fake out and run back down. Good news is all this red box right here is support. I warned you all that even if this broke out, that 65 to 75 would be hell. I've said this over and over and over and over again. I was met with a lot of derision based on that. I would say it, people would get very upset with me for saying that, tell me that I have my own way and that I don't know what I'm talking about, and off you go. You don't want to hear anything I've got to say. Yet, here we are again, same situation, happening all over again. You would think eventually people start to catch on, yet it hasn't happened. All right, so I'm going to pull some fibs on this little short-term move right here. It was very, very aggressive down. When I look at this, what I see is, so far, while it was a very, very aggressive move down, it's sitting in Sniper's Alley right here between 786 and 886. What does that mean? This means that we lost 86% of the current uptrend move, and this is an area of potential reversal. This happens a lot when it comes down to this level. Hits the 786 level, stops, thinks about it, and decides whether it's got another leg down or whether it wants to consolidate and bounce back up and test some upper levels. This was a very inefficient move down, all right? It was very rapid and very sudden. Typically, these moves are retraced, and they tend to retrace to the last support level. That last support level was right up in this area, okay? So, if this is going to bounce, it's going to bounce toward this 57 to 60 cent level again. Then we reassess. For now, it's just sitting in Sniper's Alley, thinking about it, trying to decide what it wants to do, find a footing. All the moving averages look rough. The RSI is down and sideways. MACD is down, sweeping very aggressively. This thing took a turn for the worst in a hurry. It's under S1, heading for S2. Again, this needs to bounce and get back over 53 and a half. Yeah, 53 and a half for me to start thinking that it's got some bounce to it. Otherwise, still stuck in the wedge, thinking about it. Now, all that being said, it's still in the go time box, which I'll pull up now for you. There you go. Still in the go time box, still thinking about it, still hasn't necessarily faded off and died. This exact same thing happened back in the day. Let me show you. I've shown you this many times before, but I think it's relevant to show you again. Shortly after the last chance line, we had some up and very aggressive down. You know, it wasn't very much longer after that it took off. That was in 2020, right? Then, same thing, 2016. Shortly after the last chance line, we had some very aggressive down, as you see, right? Here's your last chance line, very aggressive down, and it kind of consolidated and bounced around before it finally popped. Now, look back at the same level we're at right now, last chance line, and I'm in a timeline wise right here, okay? It's timeline. Very aggressive down, still thinking about it, still in the go time box. I still like this to break at some point toward this 65 to 75 cent level again. This time, likely hugging the trend line, likely breaking north after that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I still think this pattern plays out. For me, nothing's really changed. It just kind of threw the timeline off again like it always does. So no big moves till later. That same sentiment that I've given you multiple times on XRP is the same. I like the pattern playing out. It's not going exactly the way I want it to, but it's pretty darn close. We're within a few days to a week of knowing exactly what this thing's doing most of the time. I think whatever down is happening right now will recover fairly rapidly, and then we'll be able to get right back into what it was doing already. I don't think there's anything to fear. At the same time, I don't think there's anything to hurry up and buy over here either. I like other stuff better than I like this chart. That's just the simple and narrow of it. I wish I could tell you something that would be more unrealistic and hopium filled. I've got no hopium for you. We keep it all 100. We keep it a bean over here no matter what. If you can't handle that, folks, you can go. All right? We keep it real over here all the time, and that's all there is to it.
Bruh.
If you can't handle that, see ya. All right? I love my little sound effects over here. Hope y'all can hear them because I can hear them. All right. Sweet. So that I recorded that little bit too, so I can send it back out on the interwebs for everybody. I want everyone to be able to see it. Quinny Jen, good to see you. What's up, Danny Deep Pockets? What's up, Josh Udall? Good to see you, brother. Sound like Taco Bell. Run for the border. I hear you, bro. Fun fact: he used to work at Taco Bell back in the day. Yep. The more you know. Mr. Black, what specific things are you doing these days to find an edge to put on a trade with low risk opportunity? Just wondering what has progressed here. Haven't seen your stream in a couple years. What specific things are you doing these days to find an edge to put a trade with low risk opportunity? Very simple answer. I'll pull it up for you now so you can see. Let's do Tesla. Let's do Tesla. So it's very simple, really. This is called the thirds strategy, 1/3 strategy. All right. I'm going to look for 8 EMA, 21 EMA, 50 EMA. Very, very, very simple. I want to see, is it above the 8 EMA? Right now, it is not. Is it an 8/21 cross in a positive direction, meaning green over purple? Yes, it is. So I have, so far, 1X, 1 check mark. Is it over the 50-day moving average? It very much is. So I have 2 check marks, 1X. That tells me that I am 2/3 positive on Tesla. So long as it stays above the 50-day moving average, I am positive on it. That's my first easy, simple way to have a head on the market. Second is the overall timeline for Bitcoin playing out almost identically to what it did in 2016 and 2020. It is not the same. It is similar. I did not say that the percentages are same. The price action is similar. All right. That ain't going to mean it's going to be perfect. What I do know is little by little, this thing's playing out and we are about to get a breakout. There has not been a single Q4. There has not been a single Q4 in Bitcoin's history during halving year that's been bad. They've all been up and solid. And if that's the case, then Bitcoin is going to be up and solid. Well, what are altcoins going to do? You know the answer. They're going to follow along based on Bitcoin dominance. When Bitcoin dominance fails and we see it shift and you see money come into other things, well, then it then becomes more realistic for you to make more money in altcoins than in Bitcoin, and you're off. Now you're making exponential gains. Now you're really killing it, right? This is the simple stuff that we do all the time that is crucial to making more money than the other people, all right? You're going to run into this situation where soon people are going to be just making money left and right because they're buying degenerate stuff, yada, yada, yada. And it's going to seem like they're killing it and making tons of money. What you're not going to be told is they don't actually keep that money. They lose it later. They lose almost everything they make every time. That's a hidden fact that no one wants to talk about. That actually does happen. All right. I don't want to see y'all lose what you make. I want to see you maintain it, keep it, not fail, not break. I want to see you stay above and persevere versus all the people who are going to be degenerates moving forward. And it's going to get bad. It's not bad yet. It's going to get bad. I know y'all thought the beginning of 2024 was crazy. That was nothing. That was the precursor to the craziness that is coming later. It will get crazy. It will get wild. And I don't want to be part of the degeneracy. I'm going to try to stay ahead of the ball game, continue using basic trend analysis, basic 821 EMA, basic 50-day moving average. It doesn't have to be too fancy. It really doesn't. I talked about this multiple times. Keep it simple. You don't have to overdo this stuff. you're going to get all into it and want to ball up and just do as much possible analysis as you can. I don't think that's a good idea. I really don't. I think it's better to keep it simple. Simpler you keep it, the easier it is to make your moves, the less time you spend doing it, the less stress you bring upon yourself, and the more gains you guarantee. Not gains you make, but gains you guarantee. All right? There's a big difference between making the money and maintaining the money. It's a well-known fact that Charles Vanderbilt himself said, any fool can make money. It takes a wise man to maintain that money. Any fool can make money. A snake oil salesman, a carpetbagger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They can do well and make money, but can they maintain it? And the answer is no. It always goes away. That's why every single Ponzi scheme always fails in the end. It starts off good. Little by little, you transition into it. You can't maintain it, and you fail. All right? I don't want to see that happen to anyone here. I want to see everyone do even better. I want to see people make it farther and farther and farther, okay? So you were the last person I expected to make me feel better about XRP. Hey, brother, you're welcome. I keep it real here. When it's down, it's down. When it's up, and I'm going to keep it straight with you. JS Relax says, go time soon. I would agree. It is go time soon. The third strategy was interesting. We'll dig into that in a bit and check back later. You're welcome. We've already tested it. It's fairly simple. Again, it's trend dependent. You want to do this in an uptrend, not a downtrend. If it's a downtrend, you shouldn't be buying anything. You should be waiting and finding the best time to buy. During an uptrend, be more aggressive. Josh Udall says, you should try some eyeliner like Vance for the next one. Brah, I don't wear makeup. Nah. Thank you, Danny. A proven method that's made people a lot of money on here. Thank you, Cousin Jeremy. Robbie Greenfield, what's up, Rob? Good to see you, brother. He says, glad you're okay. Was worried about you. Don't be worried. Listen, us country folks, brother, we can survive. We will survive. All right? We can skin a buck. We can run a truck line. All right? We got generators, guns. Check this out. We only do these streams for like 45 minutes now. We're coming up on 45 minutes. How about this? If anything the last week has taught us, I wasn't prepared enough, and I'm pretty prepared. Things that you should have, every American should have. Let's go down the short, quick list. All right, it's 2024. It's a modern world. Here are the things you need if things go haywire. Let me give you a brief synopsis of what happened in the last week. Thursday, did this live stream. It was a fairly fun live stream. We had some good people on. We talked some stuff. Got on the Zoom after. We spent hours talking to people one-on-one Zoom. It was fun. Then the hurricane hit. Hurricane hit, knocked everything out. I started getting those urgent messages on my phone. When you know what I'm saying? Whenever you get like those federal alerts and it starts going boom, 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 like beeping like crazy. Those started popping off. At first, I was like, okay, we knew this was going to happen. Flash flood warning, blah, 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 fine. I'm elevated here. Like I said, our property is elevated, so I wasn't too much stressing on it. Then I started seeing flooding in our area, and I'm like, well, dang, that's crazy. It went a step farther. When 911 got knocked out and there was no emergency services, that's when I looked over at the wife and I went, you know what would be crazy is if the purge happened, because it's kind of what it seems like is coming. Crazy hurricane. No help coming. There's no help coming. There's no 911. There's no emergency services. Nothing. You're on your own. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So here's a few things you got to have, folks. Guess what? When you've got no internet and you've got no cell service, debit cards, credit cards are useless. Zero worth. I love crypto. People listen to me. I love crypto. It's unlocked doors for me that would have never been unlocked otherwise. It's useless when there's no electricity and no cell service and no internet. So you need to keep a little cash on you. I hate to break it to you, but that's the way it is. Everyone here learned a valuable lesson when the hurricane was done. Okay, now what do? We got to go turn the generator on, get the generator fired up so we get some electricity so our food doesn't spoil. Great, let's go do that. Oh, wait, I don't have any gas. Let me go to the gas station. Uh-oh, no electricity. The two gas stations that managed to get electricity because they had a backup generator running, cash only. I can't buy gas because I don't have any cash. Well, it's a good thing I brought cash. I keep a couple $100 just in a safety deposit box so I can go get that money out in case I ever need it. So what did I do? Got my cash, made it and got some gas, no problem. Next thing you should have, hate to tell you folks, but if there's no emergency services, there's no help, there's no security, you have to be your own security. You should have a weapon. Pick your choice on your weapon. I have many. Y'all know this. I've said that before. I told you a country boy could survive. We're over here in the woods. We keep our weapons. All right. I have all different calibers, all different styles, and I'm well stocked on ammo. That will never change. In fact, if you think you're going to get me while I'm not here, be careful, because my kids are a better shot than I am. All right? Be careful. So, number one, cash. Number two, a weapon and ammo. Your choice on the weapon, all right? But a weapon and ammo. And a pocket knife ain't going to cut it. Hate to break it to you, all right? Next thing. Once you've got your generator, because that's your choice on whether you have a generator or not, but if you know someone who's got power, it's a modern world, you probably need some internet, some cell service. And if you can't get that, hey, figure something else out. I'm already ordering a Starlink. That way I'll be able to have internet whenever there's no power. You can order a backup battery pack for it, so it runs off of like 12-volt battery or whatever. That way you can get some Starlink out. You can go ping the cell service. You can go ping the Wi-Fi with Starlink and get your message out that you may need help or you're stuck, or you can just let everyone know that you're okay. All of that we could not do. People were texting me, calling me, messaging me on Discord. I had no cell service. I couldn't even tell everybody we were okay. We were in the dark. I'm so far behind on DMs, y'all. I'm so far behind on DMs. I don't even want to look at all of them. That's how many people DM me asking what's going on. I can't answer you. I don't have any service. You need some cash. You need a weapon of your choice. You need to be able to communicate. So you need some sort of internet. The simple things that I didn't mention, water and food. If you don't have any water and food, you're in trouble. I have one teenage boy, one pre-teenage boy that's just as big as a teenage boy. They eat like horses. We keep our shelves well stocked in this house. We also keep water on tap. We also keep water in a bottle. We have multiple stainless steel water bottles that we keep around the house just so we have extra water. We have water flavor packets. We have water hydration packets, et cetera, et cetera. All this stuff, and I still wasn't prepared enough. I didn't have a Starlink, and I didn't have a generator. I just said, man, we'll be all right if we don't have any power. It's fine. Been through this before, done this before. So I will be getting a generator, and I will be getting a Starlink. Everything else kind of had under control. Just didn't think about it until it happened. Didn't think I'd need internet. That hit me in the face that reality is this is a modern world, and everything runs off electricity, and everything runs off of data. And I didn't have any data. So I learned a valuable point. Hey, man, be ahead of the ball game. All that relates back to TA. We say this all the time. We like to be ahead of the ball game here, not behind the ball. Okay? I want everybody else to be like me, be prepared and be ready. Next time this happens, I'll be more ready. I promise I won't let this happen again. I'll be more ready next time. We've already talked about it here. Y'all know that I plan on building a house over at the farm eventually, right? So we have farmland that I want to build a house on. We're not going to do that yet. We want to wait till the boys kind of graduate or get a little older before we do that. But I've already had plans, already talked to the wife about it. We got to get a whole house generator when we build the house. We don't need to go through this again. I want to be the place where everyone comes to. We did get power back before everyone else. So I want to be the place, and everyone did come here and congregated and ate and hung out here. I want to be the place everyone comes to, not the place everyone runs from, moving forward. All right. So all that to say, that was a hell of a week, everybody. That was trying and a teachable lesson for me and a teachable lesson for everyone else. All right. Market's a little wonky. Give it time. I've said that before. I still think we're a week or 2 or 3 away. Things are going to get much better. Relax, have a beer, enjoy life. Things are not going to be as bad as you think. I promise you it could be worse. We're right in the middle of it right here, all right? Just left the shelter area on my way over here. Before I came to the live stream, I was over at the shelter handing out water, helping hook up generators, helping people get on the internet so they can communicate with loved ones they haven't talked to in weeks, all right? So smile. Everything could be worse, all right? Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. It means the world to me, especially this week. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows, because today we can have a better day than we did yesterday, and we can do that every day moving forward. And if no one else has told you, Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all on the next stream. Sky's the limit. Peace.